Right. So, hello all. Welcome to Power Apps and Power Automate training session. I am Hemendra. So, I'll first introduce myself. Okay. So, yeah. So, I am Hemendra. I have total 8+ years of experience. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and also a Microsoft certified developer. So far, I have developed more than 50 to 60 Power Apps, and I've completed Microsoft Power Platform related certifications and Azure related certifications. Okay. And yeah, it's been 8 years, and I have been focusing majorly on Power Platform, SharePoint. Along with these technologies, I also have experience in, normal development like Java, Spring Boot, native Android application development, databases, data structures and algorithms, Kotlin, Python, Django. So all these technologies I have experience with. Then from few years, I've been focusing majorly on low code, no code technologies and SharePoint, Dataverse, like all these Microsoft ecosystem and Microsoft technology suite. Okay, so that's brief about me. So you can connect me on LinkedIn or yeah, LinkedIn. I'll share my LinkedIn profile and you can stay connected with me. Going forward, if you have any questions and everything, you can ask me. Okay, right? Yeah. So generally, we'll start with the session. Okay. So generally in IT industry, we have two types of developers. Okay. So professional developer, citizen developer. So these are the two types of developers we have. Okay. So professional developer means pro code developer. So generally, whenever there is a requirement of development, these developer typically chose technologies like Java, .NET, React, Angular, right? And then SQL, all these technologies they chose, and then they develop applications. Okay. So professional developers or pro code developers will be writing softwares in this normal typical programming languages, and they have IT background, so who are graduated from computer science or anything, and then they completely know everything about software, right? So those are called pro code developers, where you write professional code and you develop softwares. But when we come to citizen development, so this is the new trend that is going on. Okay. So which is called citizen development or low code, no code development, in which not the professional developers who studied softwares or who are good with programming, right? So these are the developers who are not good with programming, not studied computer background, right? Are the ones we call as citizen developers, like business analyst, product owners, right? Any normal, people who are in IT industry but do the non-technical work, right? So they are related to software industry in a way, but they don't do the development part, right? So are called citizen developers. So for them to make the application development easy for them, so nowadays this trend of low code, no code development is popular, and also using low code development. So the time it takes to develop an application is very easy, right? Very, very low. So it will take very less time to develop applications as compared to the pro code. So considering these benefits, so this is actually trending, and then more people are adopting this, more companies are adopting this so that they can quickly deliver applications. So for every small applications or for every requirement, so they need to go to professional developers, they need to arrange these you know group of people, gather group of people, front end developer, back end developer, and then scrum masters, database developers like testers. So you will have lot of people, involvement of lot of resources, I mean, yeah, resources are the number of people, and then it takes lot of ID time, And again, it'll take a lot, very, very much time to deliver the application. So let's say I want an application very quickly. I want it in 1 month. But if I go with professional code, it will take for me at least like 2 to 3 months to develop it, let's say, to complete all these processes. So to make that development process faster, easier, and accessible for everyone, so the citizen developer or low code, no code development is in trend. Okay. So low code, no code, as its name suggests, you write very less code. You'll get predefined functions and everything. And UI development is also very easy. You will get drag and drop kind of interface. And then, yeah, you can develop really good applications, professional level applications here, but using very minimal amount of code. Okay. That is called low code. If you don't write code at all, then it will be a no code platform. So we have two different platforms here. Again, low code, no code. Low code means you will write very less code. You need minimal coding, right? And then no code means you don't need coding at all. So that is low code, no code. Okay. So generally, you know, pro code developer, right? Or code first developer. So this is how they deal with all the technologies. Let's say if it's a database or cloud, you know, so they go with all these sorts of technologies. So they need to use databases of this sort. So they have to use cloud functions or API management. So they deal with all these, these two layers. GitHub, Visual Studio. So they use Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code for writing the code. So they deal with all these different sorts of applications and coding platforms and databases. If you are a pro code developer, but if you are a low code developer, right, and you are in a Microsoft tech stack, so you'll go with Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, Power BI, Power Pages. So these are the primary tools that we are dealing with. We are going to be dealing with. Okay. Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, Power BI, and Power Pages. All these together, all these power things together, we call it as Power Platform. Okay. So Power Platform consists of all these three or four different uh, tools. Combined, we call it as Power Platform, and it's a low code platform. Okay. So we have so many other low code popular tools. Like we have Mendix, OutSystems, Power Platform is one of them. And we have Kissflow and Wix, which these two are low code, no code platforms. Mendix, OutSystems are low code. Even Power Platform is a low code platform. And Kissflow, Wix, these are no code platforms. You don't need any sort of code. You can directly, drag, drop, or arrange, and then you can build applications and workflows. Okay, so there are so many others. So I just listed few. Okay, so our point of discussion is about Microsoft Power Platform. Okay, so it's a low code platform. So we have so many different tools. Like we have total 5 tools in this, right? Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, Pages, and Power BI. So we have these 5 tools in Power Platform, right? You know, which are useful in building applications, workflows. So they have different purposes. Okay. So in our session, majorly, we will be discussing about Power Apps and Power Automate and Power Virtual Agents. Power BI, Power Pages will not be covering. Okay. In this course, right? So in this throughout the course, Power Apps, right? If you want to build web applications or mobile applications, just like how you build Android applications or websites. So if you want to build any web applications or mobile applications, we will be using Power Apps. If you want to build web or mobile applications, we will be using Power Apps. Okay. If you want to build automations, if you want to connect all your softwares, if you want to design some workflows, if you want to automate certain things, we use Power Automate. Power Automate for process or workflow automation. What do you mean by workflow automation is, let's say you have a scenario. Okay, every day you receive an email, and your email has a zip file. Okay, so you receive an email every day from certain email address, and you will receive a attachment in that email. And whenever you receive that email, you want to save that attachment to your OneDrive in some folder so that people will see it. Okay, so you have this sort of simple automation. So the automation is, you will receive a file in your email, you need to place it in the OneDrive. Simple. Okay, but to do it every day, you need to be present every day at the time, and you need to, manually download it and upload it to OneDrive. So you have to manually do it. What if you can automate it, right? You don't need to do it anymore, right? So you can design a workflow that,
Uh,
hey,
Sorry.
yeah,
Uh, I'm so
uh,
sorry. I lost it. In these five apps, you said something you're not going to cover. What is it?
it's about Power Pages and Power BI.
Power Pages and Power BI will not be covered.
Yes, yes. So these are like not
Oh.
covered. Power Apps Canvas and Power Automate.
Mm-hmm.
Power Apps Canvas and Model Driven Apps, and Power Automate will be the ones that we're covering, and Power
Great.
Virtual Agents also. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent. Power Pages and BI will not be covered.
yeah, yeah. So those are like separate sessions. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Right. So generally Power Apps for building web and mobile applications, and Power Automate for designing workflows. Okay. So workflow, I'm just giving you an example of what a workflow means. Okay. So workflow means you have simple sequence of steps, right? So which you do daily, right? So you have some task and you want to do it, and your task will be divided into multiple steps, right? So example, you will receive an email in your inbox, Outlook inbox, and you will download the attachment, and you have to save it to OneDrive, right? So this is the daily task you do. I mean, whenever you log in, this is the daily task you do, let's say. So what you can do is, you can automate it. You don't need to do it. Okay. So you can simply create a Power Automate workflow, create a trigger, right? You can start the flow whenever an email receives. You can get the attachments. You can put it in OneDrive folder. So you are now integrating Outlook with OneDrive using Power Automate. So in the same way, let's say you have your data in Jira, and you want to, notify when a new ticket is created or new ticket is closed, and you want to send an email. Let's say that is the requirement. Okay. So whenever a new ticket is closed, you will get that information, and then you can send an email using Power Automate. So you can connect multiple applications. You can design a workflow. If this action happens in particular software, I want to notify this software, and then you can integrate both of these softwares using Power Automate. Okay, you can connect hundreds of softwares. Even if you have your custom software, you can connect it with that workflow, and then you can automate all these interactions. Okay, so you can connect SAP, Workday, Jira, MuleSoft, PeopleSoft, or you have any other software. Let's say um, PeopleSoft HRM. I mean, lot of tools we have these days, like Salesforce. So let's say your data is in SAP, and then you want to bring it to SharePoint, right, for some purpose. So just connect all these applications together, design a workflow in Power Automate, and then the integration is easy. So you can, automate everything, and then yeah, so that's the advantage. So going forward, you'll get to know more about it, but it's also a workflow tool which is used for process automation. Okay. So Power Virtual Agents for chatbots and conversational experience. So we have Power Virtual Agents. So this is one more tool. We use this for building chatbots. Okay. So just like how we have customer care chatbots and everything in, banking websites, insurance websites, or travel websites. So you'll get a uh, chatbot where you can talk to the AI, and you can get all your, AI or like computer you can talk to, right? The chatbot, typical chatbot experience. So you can actually build such type of chatbots using Power Virtual Agents. Okay, that is Power Virtual Agents. And we also have something called Power Pages. So Power Pages is more like building websites in Power Apps, right? So this requires a little bit of coding knowledge. You need to be good with JavaScript. You need to be good with a little bit of .NET and HTML, CSS. There's something called Liquid Code. So you need to be good with data coding for doing this Power Pages. And even in the LinkedIn and everything, if you find Power Pages development is like completely posted as a new requirement, it is not merged with Power Apps. But some cases, like companies expect you should know both, but mostly Power Pages is a different set of skill, and they need code related people. Okay, the Power Pages thing. And Power BI, yeah, it's again for data visualization. So let's say you have data, and now you want to visualize that data, right? You want to build some graphs, you want to build some, visualizations like bar chart, pie chart, line chart. If you have data, you want to visualize it, you want to generate reports, then you go for Power BI. Okay. And we also have AI Builder in Power Apps so that we can use artificial intelligence capabilities, right? Like object detection. Let's say you train your Power Apps that by showing some images, let's say of cat and dog. Simple, basic example, right? So you have shown some cat images, you have shown some dog images. So now, if you show any new image to it, so it'll identify what is that in the top in that picture, right? It can able to detect objects, it can able to identify the text, it can able to extract the text. So it can able to process the forms and invoices and extract, invoice data from a receipt. So it can do a lot of things using artificial intelligence also with without writing a single line of code. You can train the model easily and you can use the model easily in your Power App without writing a single line of code, right? So it's very easy. You can do that. You don't need to have any coding knowledge or anything. You can simply build the applications. And also in Power Platform, we have a database called Dataverse. So this is the widely used database for Power Apps related development, Microsoft Dataverse. So we will also be covering this one, Microsoft Dataverse. And we have PowerFX. PowerFX is the language or language we call the coding language that we use in Power Apps. So whatever the code you write in Power Apps is called as PowerFX. So that is PowerFX. We'll be covering that. And we have environments, okay, managed environments. So we'll discuss all of these little later, okay. And we have data connectors. So we can connect our any application to Power Apps, right? So let's say you have your data in, as I said, Workday. Workday is a HR management system. You want to get your data of employee database from Workday to Power Apps, or SAP to Power Apps, or Jira to Power Apps, or SharePoint to Power Apps, OneDrive, SQL, PostgreSQL, wherever your data is in, right? You can directly connect it with Power Apps. So there are like 1,000+ connectors that are supported with Power Apps. So you can directly connect that software or tool and then bring the data, do manipulation. So just build an application. That's it. Simple. Just connect it, build whatever you want, done. You can give it to users. Okay. So this is the complete ecosystem that we will be studying in this course. Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, AI Builder, Dataverse, Power FX and all, right? So now if you have any questions, yeah, you can, feel free to ask me before I move to next slide or, you know, before I go next. So you can ask me any questions.
Hello, Hemant. Chandrasekhar here.
Hello, hello, hello,
Yeah, hi. Yeah,
hello,
hi.
Chandra.
So the market, hi. So the market, if you are going for jobs and all, okay, does it require any previous experience with any development or any other platform of automation, yeah, apart from Power Apps?
Generally, this is how it works. Let's say you have some experience in IT industry, and you are in a
Okay.
position to understand what kind,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the requirements. Let's say they give you some requirements. You should be able to in a
Mm-hmm.
position to understand them, the functionality, like, oh, what are they expecting and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so if you have that logical thinking of what can be done or how can be that, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how, so that is sufficient. And if you are
Okay.
in a, I mean, IT industry with some different experience, so transitioning
Mm-hmm.
to this will not require, they won't ask, but generally, you go as an experience, right? So then they will ask you what you
Okay.
have done previously and everything. Yeah. Apart from
Mm-hmm.
that, I don't think.
Okay.
So if you do one to two certifications, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
easily tell them. Yeah.
So this certification power ups, like it's a complete certification, or it's only specifically each has different certification. All these five.
So we have combined certifications for
Okay.
Power Apps and Power Automate, but for Power BI we have a different
Mm-hmm.
certification.
Okay. So the
So
BI is
we
not
have
required for as of now.
yeah, BI there will be a separate requirement when you go to job
Mm-hmm.
market, right? So they will
Okay.
separately hire Power BI plus SQL developers separately.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But if you know, it is a good thing, right? So generally they only focus on Canvas model driven apps and Power Automate. But if you know it, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a good to know feature, like nice to have kind of thing. That's it. But it is not mandatory.
Oh. Okay. If you don't mind, can I share my profile? What I'm like? Is it okay for non-IT background, or it's purely for IT background only?
No, no, no. It is mainly focused for like non-IT people only, right? So who can understand, you know,
Mm-hmm.
what are these terminologies and everything? Who can understand,
Okay.
little bit of this, and then want to
Mm-hmm.
develop applications. So that's why they're like easing or simplifying the code thing, right? So who are from non-IT
Okay.
background should also develop applications. That's why they're actually easing
Mm-hmm.
the approach of developing applications. Otherwise, so they can
Okay.
still continue the pro code approach, right? Like, right.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the purpose of citizen development. Yeah.
Okay. So can I share, like, see, just let me know
Yeah.
if everything is okay. So I have an experience in like investment and like fraud and investigations and KYC and all. Okay,
Okay.
I had been in, I was taught Blue Prism by my organization, okay, as a support analyst, okay. So I have to
Okay.
support so that the IT people can understand whatever is going through this KYC process and all. So
Okay.
little bit I learned Blue Prism and I have done it. And then later that I left it and I went to another organization. So do you think that is beneficial, or is it good that I complete the Blue Prism then do this, or what? I'm just a little bit confused to check which career would be suitable for me. If you want to speak to me like separately, I can check with that.
No, no. Actually, that's okay. Right, Chandrasekhar. So it's 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 not mandatory that you should know something before learning Power Apps.
Mhm.
So all I'm saying is you have understanding of little bit about like what is user interfaces,
Automation.
right?
Yes.
Not even automation, just like let's say you want to build an application. So what you need some text boxes,
Mhm.
you need some drop downs, you need some radio buttons,
Yes.
check boxes. So let's say if I give you any requirement, Chandrasekhar, I want a KYC form, and then the requirement is if you click on submit, it should trigger to my
Mhm.
next level manager, and it will go to eight
Mhm.
levels. Then in the eighth level, it will get approved, and after approval, user will receive a notification that your KYC is completed. Example. So
Yeah.
if you understand this, you understand
Mhm.
the process. Oh, I have a form.
Yes.
Okay, my data has to sit somewhere in the database, and then it will go to eight levels. And eight levels are like level one manager, level two manager, level three manager. So this is the workflow you are
Mhm.
looking for. So if you understand this
Okay.
process, if you have good understanding of this process, or you are able to understand this process, business requirement, right? So then it's easy for you to sit here and develop what you want. So if you know the process and you are willing to develop something on your own, so then you
Mhm.
can just go to Power Apps, start developing something on your own. So that's all you need. So that's what I'm saying. If you know
Okay.
what to do, then I
Mhm.
will teach you how to do, right?
Okay.
And that's it.
Understood.
Like you
Thank you.
don't need anything. Yeah, any knowledge. Yep.
Mhm. Anything which is beneficial that I could learn apart from, I mean, while going with this, like SQL and all, or it's just not that required.
I would say just read little bit about what is JSON, little bit about HTML. I mean, we though we don't use HTML here, but it might help you
Mm-hmm.
like little bit about
Yeah, yes.
HTML, small, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just look for like I mean, half an hour or 1 hour crash course about HTML and little bit about JSON.
Okay.
So I think that should be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, you don't need anything. Yeah. I mean, if you want to become a database developer or something, just go for database.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be good. Crash course again. So go for like 1 hour crash course of HTML, one half an hour or 10 minutes JSON course, and like
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes SQL. So that should be fine.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. Just
So one
understanding of
thing, just another question.
what happened.
Yeah,
Sure.
Blue Prism and this is same, or like I mean, overall understanding is same, or like it's different. After
Yeah.
Blue Prism, this comes about.
Yeah. No. 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 It's a different in a way. Okay. So Blue
Mm-hmm.
Prism or UI path. So these two
Yeah.
comes under robotic process automation, RPA. So these
Mm.
are RPA
Yeah.
tools.
Yes.
And in Power Platform, we have
Mm-hmm.
one thing called Power Automate Desktop. So there is one more application
Okay.
in Power Automate,
Mm-hmm.
Power Automate Desktop. So Power Automate
Okay.
Desktop, Blue Prism, UiPath. All these three
Mm-hmm.
are robotic process automations. But
Okay.
our normal Power Apps and Power Automate, general cloud flows are digital process automation. Okay, not robotic process automation. We are into digital process automation. Okay. So the difference is,
Okay.
so there you extract data, you scrape the data, you repeat all the UI
Mm-hmm.
actions, you record something and then it will get repeated, right? So you record all your
Mm-hmm.
interactions and then it does the same and everything, right? But here you typically design software applications, you build workflows and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are completely different, but we also do robotic process automation using one of our tools. That's it. That is the only relation.
Okay.
That's
Okay. We will be learning that, or no, that is not included in this.
No, no. Power Automate Desktop is like I'll introduce you, but we'll not go deeper into
Mm-hmm.
it. Like it's again completely different, ecosystem and completely different development scenario. So people
Okay.
will
So
post some
I'll
separate job for it. Yeah,
I'll summarize my understanding what you told. Okay, these all three Blue Prism, UiPath, and Power Automate desktops are just mimicking the human,
right.
uh, the human way of
Interaction,
working.
human interactions.
Yeah,
Yes.
but yeah, human interactions. But this one which we are learning, PowerApps, is something that we are developing some new software or something like that. But it is an automated thing, no coding development.
Yeah, you require very less code, minimal code. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, minimal code. That will be taught the minimal code.
Yes, 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 definitely.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll develop
thank you.
applications. Yeah. So
Thank you very much
these
for
are
clearing the
yeah.
doubts.
Sure. Oh, no problem. Yeah. So it's called robotic process automation RPA. So where let's say I want to copy some data from this PowerPoint to some Excel sheet example, and I want to do it daily. So what I'll do, I'll turn on the flow, and then I'll copy this and paste this, and automatically that extract the data from this and then paste it there. So some sort of robotic process automation it do. But in our case, we will design that. We will talk to APIs. We'll send the data, receive the data. So all those stuff we'll do. So we are into
Thank you.
digital process automation. Okay, sure. So yeah, so this is all we are going to learn: Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, and everything. Right? Okay. So first we'll talk about Power Apps. Right? What is Power Apps? As we know, Power Apps is useful for developing websites or mobile applications. So let's say you want a customer entry form, like to complete KYC, just like Chandra gave example, right? Let's say you want to complete some KYC, so you need a good user interface form, and user will come to that form, and he will fill all the required information, and he will submit that data, and it has to store in my database. Is my requirement, simple requirement. I need a simple form to capture the KYC information. That's it. Okay. So then what I can do, I can go to Power Apps, quickly drag and drop UI elements, text boxes, radio buttons, drop downs, and everything. I can quickly develop that, and I can directly connect my database with the Power App. And then as soon as they click on submit, I will capture the data from the UI, and put it in the database. So this is the simplest thing we'll do in Power Apps. Okay, form design and data submitting to database. Okay, so Power Apps is the platform that let you build any business applications based on your data. Let's say you have your data in your database, right? And you want to build some application out of it, right? You have student data, you have employee data. So you want to build a simple app like add new employee, add new, student, edit the current student information, right? And whenever some information is changed, notify admin, right? So all these sorts of simple applications or custom applications that we develop, right? So save time and resources. As I told, in typical scenario, you need a front-end developer who are good with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Angular, all these things. And you need one more back-end developer who is good with Spring Boot or Node.js or Django or Python, right? And you also should have little bit of database knowledge or complete database resource you need. And all these people should come together, discuss the requirements, build an application, and make it go through multiple test scenarios. And then, so the starting from requirement gathering to release will take anywhere between like more than 3 months or 2 months at least, right? So if you go with normal development, but whereas in Power Apps, let's say you get some requirements, you yourself, generally, if that is not a big application, you yourself can sit and design the database. Okay. And then you can directly link it with Power Apps. You don't need any other code. And you can quickly develop user interface based on the design that you get. Okay. So as a single person, you can complete all these tasks and you can deploy it. So you don't need any other DevOps team to manage your deployment, right? And if you want to release some updates, you can do it directly, right? So you have all these deployment process also made easy. So basically, the advantage is it will save time and resources. So you'll get delivery in very less time, and then you don't need more resources. You can do it with 1 or 2 persons. And also the advantage is you don't need a skilled developer, right? You don't need who is from IT background and anything. So let's say if they are given training in Power Apps or Power Automate for like let's say 1 month or 2 months, if they get training, so they can start building the applications for you. So you don't need to look for a skilled professional who completed like their degree in computer science and who have some experience in building softwares, right? So that is the advantage. And nowadays like Power Platform is rapidly adopted in the companies, so the adoption has been increased, right? So because people are actually rewriting their softwares, so there are like old softwares that are there from so many years, and they are shutting down those softwares. Those are in on-premises, and like they are very old softwares and technologies. Now they are rewriting all those systems and everything, and then they are looking towards or looking forward to adopt Power Apps and Power Automate to replace their existing softwares. So mostly, like that is what we are calling like digital transformation, and they're looking more in an automation scenario because automation improves their productivity. So every day if you want to do some manual task, it will eat a lot of your time. So instead if you can automate it, so you don't need to bother about it, whether you are there, whether you are present, you're absent, you're on a leave. So automation will happen automatically. You don't need manual intervention, right? So that's why these technologies are getting really good hype or boom in these days. So that's a good one. Okay. Yeah. So Power Apps, generally, just to be precise, we build business applications. Okay. Using Power Apps. And in Power Apps, as I told, we have three different types of Power Apps: Canvas apps, model driven apps, and Power Pages. Okay. We will discuss in detail about all these three different types. Okay. So just to make you understand, Canvas apps means if you have good user interface, beautiful UI, user interface is very rich and good, then you need to go for Canvas applications. If you want beautiful user interface. Okay. Model driven apps is sort of low code because you don't do any UI design or anything. So these are data heavy applications, right? So you have data and you have predefined components, UI components. You just arrange all of them in a way however you want, and then you build this model driven apps. Okay. So you don't design much of user interface. So you'll get all the predefined things. You just need to arrange them and then build model driven apps. Canvas apps, you have to develop the UI, you have to, design, build the logic and everything. Okay. So model driven apps, so you play with the data, you have business rules, you have business process flows. So you actually deal with the data instead of UI. So data is more focused here, but the UI and development thing is more focused in the Canvas apps. Okay. And Power Pages, as I told, you need understanding of JavaScript, Ajax, little bit of jQuery or .NET. So all these HTML and CSS, you need all of those to build Power Pages. And Power Pages, basically, if you want to build websites, customer-facing websites, then they use Power Pages. Okay. So our focus is Canvas and model-driven apps. Okay. So that's it, right? So if you want to go to Power Apps and see how you create Power Apps and everything, so this is the URL make.powerapps.com is the Power App Studio, make.powerapps.com. So I'll show you how it looks, right? Make.powerapps.com. I will also tell you how to create this environment and everything. Okay. So Power Apps, make.powerapps.com is the portal that we will be logging in for building our Power Apps. Okay. Make.powerapps.com. And you'll get this type of user interface. If you want to create new application, so you can, you have different options. Let's say your data is in Dataverse. You can directly click on this and it will give you an app out of it. You can customize it later. If your data is in here, if your data is in SharePoint, click this. It will automatically create an app with 3, 4 screens and it will give you. So based on your data source, it is SQL or Excel or SharePoint or Dataverse. You can directly create a simple app and you can customize it later. Okay. Or if you want to create an app from blank, scratch, go with blank app. Okay. While creating an app, you get 3 options: Canvas app, model driven app, or Power Pages. Just like how we discussed, we have 3 types of Power Apps. It will ask you which type of Power App you want to create, whether you want Canvas app or model driven app or Power Pages. Okay. You see Canvas, model driven, and website or Power Pages, right? So start a blank screen, design app visually by adding components to it. When so it's more like user interface design focused. Okay. So whereas model driven app, you don't deal with much of UI. So you have predefined components, you just arrange them and you write or enforce strict rules on data using some business rules. So but it's little different. Okay. So we'll discuss all this later. But to make you more, to make the session more interesting, right? I'll show you how Power Apps Canvas looks. Okay. So just create, you know, I'll choose the tablet for now. I'll say day one as my app name. You have to give your app some name and choose the tablet and click on create. So simple. So in typical coding thing, you need to open your Visual Studio. You have to set your project. Arrange your folders. You have to write some code to build your app, right? So here you did nothing. Just clicked on create a new app. It gave you a new app for you. Okay. And by looking at it, are you able to relate? It is close to any of the software that you have used. It is it is looking very close to PowerPoint. If you observe my PowerPoint, you see this is a slide. This is a slide, right? So the same slide we call it as screen here. So if you want to insert new screen, you see, like how we have new slide, we have a screen here. You can insert any screens you want. Screen one, screen two. See, screens. You have screens, right? In the PowerPoint, if I want to add a new slide, what I'll do, click on insert, new slide, and I'll insert blank slide, right? Same, simple. So people who know PowerPoint, bit of PowerPoint can easily create and, add screens. Simple. And then let's say if I want to insert a rectangle into this, right? I just dragged it, dropped it in the PowerPoint, right? If I want to move it, I'm just moving it like this, right? In the same way, what will you do? Go to insert, you will see all the controls. Let's say you want a button, click on button and move it wherever you want. Take the button. And you want a label, right? So just use the label and you see, adjust it. So this simple to design UI, right? You see, I added the label and you see all the controls here. So I can adjust the text. I will say login. Okay, login is my text. I want to adjust the font. What I'll do, I want to make it this one. Okay, and I want to make it center. So see, it is center. And I want to add some background color. You see color. This is the font color. I want to change it to, let's say, white, and the background I want to change it to maybe this one, or let's say this one. Okay, I just changed it, right? Now I want to increase font size because font is looking a bit, very low, right? So I'll just say probably 20. It will be little login, right? So I added a button. Now I want to add few more labels. Let's say I want to quickly design a login form. What will I do? Text. I'll say email, and I'll add one more label. I'm adjusting it here, and I'll say password. Okay, insert. And then I want a text box for capturing email. So I'll just put it here and then copy this and paste it again. Control C, Control V, and then arrange it properly, right? And remove this default text here. Add some hint text so that user will know what to enter, right? So I'll say enter your email. Okay, and then password, remove this, and hint text, enter password, right? And then use this button and change the button name to login and add one more button and call it as, let's say, cancel or back or something, right? Right, you can, let's say you want checkbox, so take this checkbox, put it here, and then let's say keep me signed in, right? So you see, I selected all and I want to move it to center. I can move it, right? And then if I want to give some background color to my screen, so what I'll do, select the screen. So you see in the tree view, you get to see all the buttons added here. Everything, whatever you have added, it is visible here. So just select this. And then let's say I want to select my screen and I want to change the background. I can do it. See, so you can change any background. So simple, you don't need to write any code. You'll get UI. Just pick it from the UI. That's it. So you see, you have UI, background image. If you want any background image, just click on stock images or upload any image. You know, just select that. That's it. Automatically it will be inserted, right? And adjust its orientation, right? So simple. So you quickly designed something without writing a single line of code. You just dragged it and dropped, right? And then it is that simple. And now, whenever you want to save this data to some place or anything, so then what will you do? So you'll just go for some database connections. Let's say you want to connect your data. So what will you do? Now I want to save. So let's say I want to see the preview. I'll just click on play. I'll enter my email and I'll enter my password and click on keep me signed in, click on login. After login, let's say I want to go to a new screen. Okay. I'll call it as home screen. Okay. Let's say home screen. Okay. and I'll call it as login screen. Okay. Or let's say, oh no, let me call it as login screen. Okay. Now, this is home screen. Okay. I will write the simple example. Okay. So here I'll design some label. I'll put some label. I'll call URL home screen. Okay. I'm just giving some, label so that we can see the difference. Okay. So here in home screen is the label that I used. Okay. So now my first screen is login screen. Okay. I'm in this screen. So now let's say I will write some formula. Let's say on the login screen, I want to validate username and password. And if the login is successful, then I want to take the user to home screen. Okay. So here what I'll do, I want to show you are in home screen. I want to write some welcome text. Okay. Welcome, my name I want to show. What I'll do, here I'll write. So don't worry, I'm just like making it so fast because you'll understand how easily I can develop something. Okay. Welcome, and then and user is a function. You don't need to write any fancy thing. So user is function, and write user dot display name or full name. So you see, you will get some sort of suggestions here. So user is a function. So like this, you have predefined functions. You just need to use those functions. That's it. See, welcome Power Platform Automation. So Power Platform Automation is the account that I logged in from. So it is my account name. Okay. So if you log in, it will say welcome Chandra, welcome Shahir, welcome Srikanth, right? So it can say anything, right? So it'll just say the username. So in order to get that username, you have not written. So username is coming from Azure AD. Okay. Generally, your employee data is stored in Azure AD, but you are not writing an API to call Azure AD and then identifying who is logged in. So you are not doing all those fancy things, right? So you just Power Platform gave you user function, just use it. That's it. Simple. You're not writing hard code, right? So it's like soft, simple code.
So,
Okay.
Kimenda, one question over here.
Yeah.
So, if we are not calling that, how would it work? Uh, as of now, we are not
The
doing it. Like it's not required.
No, no, it's not required. So they are giving you functions which are capable of doing
Mhm.
that. So they are actually mimicking that part, or replacing that part of thing for citizen
Mhm.
developers.
Okay. So, like database connections, are we going to learn, or like how would it
Yes.
check with the data?
Yeah, database connections. So here you see, right? So we have the data option. So you can connect whatever data we want. We will work on it. Let's say if your data is in Postgres, okay, I'll say SQL. You see, you
Okay.
can connect to Azure SQL. You can connect to MySQL,
Mm-hmm.
Postgres SQL, SQL Server. Or let's say if your
Mm-hmm.
data is in SAP, you see,
Okay.
you have SAP
Mm-hmm.
ERPs, SAP testing, and you have your data in, let's say, Jira or Confluence. You see, you can connect to Jira, you can connect to Confluence.
Okay.
So you have so many thousand plus connectors. I will show.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You see, right? Like these are all the connectors, different connectors. So you have
Yeah.
thousands of connectors
Mm-hmm.
you can connect to, Mailchimp, so many softwares, ERPs, HRMs, CRMs, so a lot of softwares. You can, if let's say your data is in any of those softwares, so you can bring the data into
Okay.
PowerApps. You can build application.
I
Okay.
have
So a
heard
little
that
bit of
Shahid,
sorry.
we can connect to both on-premises and cloud environments, right?
Yes, Shahir. Yeah, we can do that as well. Yes.
And also in our curriculum, we are going to learn about this Azure Logic App services, Azure Plus topics, Azure Event Script also.
No, no, no. Azure is not covered. Azure is different, right?
Okay. Some of the service you have shown large gap site in the first PPT which you have showed.
You want the first BP? Yeah. So what is that? This one? Oh, no, no, no. This one I was explaining the difference between pro code and low code. So we are in the
Okay.
top layer. So Pro Code will be doing all this.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Chandra, you want to ask something? Shahir, like you have any more
Yeah,
question?
No, no, no. Continue. Completed
Okay.
from my end.
Okay. Sure.
okay. So just be in this page only, okay? So testing after we develop something, okay? So the testing will be done by us, or any other testers will be there to analyze whether anything is there, loophole or something like that. Not
So
required.
that is actually, yeah. So that is actually some sort of client requirement. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
if they are good with your testing, let's say you developed something
Okay.
and you spend one to
Mm-hmm.
2 days for testing everything. So if the client is okay, then it's okay. But if in your company, so client want different people in the testing team to test it. So it is again another application for them, right? So they will get requirements, they get the access to app, so they'll test. Okay, I entered email it should take. Password I entered, it should be masked. It is not masked,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they will identify it as a bug and they'll report it to you. You need to fix it, right? So here
Okay.
I'll just say format as password, that's it. So now you
Mm-hmm.
see it is masked. So they will report this as a bug. If you are able to identify it, I mean, if
Yeah.
the client is good with it, it's okay. Otherwise, if they want, so they'll assign a person.
Okay. Can you please open that page, the one which Shahid or someone is selling, the PPT page?
Okay.
Yeah, the one which, yeah, this one. Okay, just it may be a question or something like that.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Don't mind about it. Okay, so see, the persons who are developing in the second platform or third platform over there, okay, Azure and all, they are like combined with a lot of different people. Okay, so we are just using PowerApps and we are doing it. Okay, so how secure it will be, like how secure or how will it be cost effective? That is why the clients would be using this, or why would we they go with PowerApps instead of multiple? You understand my question? Multiple developers.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So let's say, I mean, that's what, like, to save time, to save resources. So
Mhm.
that's the simplest answer.
Okay.
So let's say if you do it with a good amount of code, it will take anywhere between
Mhm.
like 2 to 3 months to complete all those processes.
Okay.
To
Mm-hmm.
just to design this page, it will take half an hour, right? Like
Yeah. Yes.
decent time. Yeah. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
align it, like center it. So so if you are like 10, 15 years, that is a different matter. But let's say if you're a
Mm-hmm.
normal developer with 4 to 5 years of experience or 6 years of experience, so you need anywhere between
Mm-hmm.
half an hour, right? So set up the project. Do it. But whereas here you can quickly build application. Let's say your client is HR, your client is legal department, so
Okay.
they want some quick applications, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or invoices, warehouses. Like you want quick development, rapid development, so then you'll
Okay.
go for Power, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just I got another
So
question over here.
internally,
So.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Internally, so there are hundreds of applications that requires, that required in, let's say you have a
Okay.
warehousing thing. So you need so many
Mm.
applications over there to maintain stock, to track the stock and everything. And then, that kind of scenarios, you want rapid development. Okay.
Okay. So list of
That,
content which we have covered, it will be given before, like will the
yeah.
person will be sharing us? Okay. And
Yeah. I
testing
mean,
is
I'm not sure how it will be shared with you, but I have this. Okay. So you can actually check this. You know, we have, I mean, I have divided it into 4 modules: module one, module two, module three, module four. Okay. 4 modules. The first module is the one that will be covering, all the Power App concepts. So you have
Mm-hmm.
introduction to Power App Studio. We'll be covering everything, user interface elements, importance of little bit of HTML in Power Apps, and you have
Mm-hmm.
all the dynamic data stuff, database connectivity, and everything. And we'll do
Okay.
a responsiveness. How can we make Power App responsive so that it'll fit to
Mm-hmm.
mobile screen as well as the screen, and then
Okay.
we'll develop Power App project. Again, we have module two where we will be discussing completely on Power Automate. So we have again
Mm-hmm.
different sections. And Power Module 3 is model driven app, and Module 4 is Power Virtual Agents, the chatbot thing.
Okay.
So we'll be learning how to build chatbots. And again, we'll be completing one complete real time project
Mm-hmm.
and interview guidance. So I will teach you, or I will explain you how the interviews will be. And then myself, I have given 50 plus interviews and almost taken 50 to 60 interviews so far. So I know like what kind of questions they will be asking in the interviews. So we can do that.
Mhm.
And also, I will guide you how to complete PL 900 certification. So it is Power Platform Fundamental Certification. So
Mhm.
this will be covered. So you'll be able to complete this after the session.
Oh, okay. And projects, one project you will be covering. Apart from that, we personally can do any projects by ourselves online, or
Yes, yes,
is it possible?
definitely. Definitely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I know the
You can
salary ranges if it's possible? What
salary,
will it?
yeah. So yeah, actually, I know people like 2 years, 3 years. So they are earning like let's say 2 years junior Power Apps developer. So minimum
Mhm.
10 to 15 lakhs junior developers. And
Okay.
if you have experience, I've seen packages like 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 35 lakhs.
Mhm.
So I've seen all these ranges of. But based on your experience, let's say you have 6 years of
Okay.
experience. I know people with six
Mhm.
years are earning 25 lakhs. And if
Okay.
you have more like 30, 35, 40, so based on your expertise and if you include everything, let's say only Power Apps, Canvas, and Power Automate, you'll get like 20
Mhm.
lakhs or 22 lakhs. But if you know Power
Okay.
BI, Power Pages
Mhm.
also, then you can demand more, right? So it's
Okay.
on like
I
combination.
haven't. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm asking many questions, but it is just
No, no,
beneficial
no,
for
no.
me. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
completely.
one more thing
That
is
is
that
that is
I have a career gap of. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, no. The demo is the intention of demo is that like you can ask many questions.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So I have a career gap of 1 year, 1.5 year maybe. 2023 March, I have left the organization. Okay. Since then, I worked for someone else, but it was not pleasant good career, so I've left it. So I have a certain career gap of 1.5 year. Okay. Before that, I was into a banking domain and a service domain as well. Okay. So do you think I can replicate this uh, job as experienced and then get it done?
Yeah, yeah, why not? Why not?
Understood.
Yeah. If you can
Okay.
justify your gap, you can tell them.
Mhm.
You can tell them
No, not the
you
gap,
used
not the gap. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah. I used to work over there for this particular processes and all. Can it be okay? Will it be okay for that interview?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You can join as a junior Power Platform developer, right? You can start. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
switching your career. So let's say you want to tell I have banking experience and I took gap and I learned Power Apps and everything and I developed a couple of applications and now I'm looking for a Power Apps job. So if you can justify that, like they will take you. Yeah, no problem in that.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, like I used to work for like I PowerApps. How when did it start? Is it recent one or it 2 3 years older?
No, no, it's been 5 years, almost 5 to 6 years, more than 5 6 years. Yeah.
So so can I say that I was working for PowerApps before and I took a career gap and then again get it. I have an
Now,
experience
if
of
you
1 year or something like
yeah, you can tell it obviously if you can
that.
justify it, right? So if
Okay.
you are able to answer all the questions and you can so let's say
Mhm.
we develop like 1 to 2 applications. So I can assure you that is sufficient for cracking anywhere between 2 to 3 years of experience or 5 years of experience. So people with 5 years of experience do what we do in the session. Okay.
Yeah,
So
understood.
it's okay. Yeah, you can actually justify that if you are confident. Yeah.
Yeah, your name, it's Heminder.
Hemendra, Hemendra. I mean, I'll
Okay, I
give
mean,
my
how
full
can I
name.
check? Okay.
Sundar Kumar. Yeah, I just pinged in the chat. Hemendra Sundar Kumar.
Oh, okay, okay. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thanks for
Okay.
answering so many questions.
So
Oh, yeah,
I had
no
one
problem.
question.
Yeah.
So what is the disadvantage of like, will this replace developers? Like, can we build scalable applications with Power Apps?
Scalable applications, I would say no. I mean, it is not for large audiences. Let's say users can be anyone, but like if you want to deal large amounts of data and everything, so I mean, there are still some limitations. Let's say you want to process 1 lakh records or 10 lakh records. If you want to make it,
Mhm.
a data heavy application, so it's hard at this point of time. But all the business applications, yeah, it is capable of handling.
Okay.
So yeah, so you'll design something like this, and then you know you let's say you want to go to next screen, right? What will you do? In typical programming, you write a lot of code for navigating and everything, right? So here in Power Apps, like button on select is the function. You just go here, just write navigate. Navigate is a function. You see, as soon as I write, I'm getting suggestions. Just pick the function, and it will say which screen you want to navigate to. I want to go to home screen. Just pick that and close it, and that's it. Play it and click on login. It will take you to this screen. So you'll get this simple formulas. So let's say you know Excel. I mean, just to make you comfortable, PPT like user interface, Excel like logic, right? So in the Excel you write you'll get the same formula bar. You get the same formula bar. You write lookup, VLOOKUP, all those, right? So in the same way, you can write multiple functions. You have all the predefined functions and PPT like user interface. So you can combine both and build applications. Yeah. And you have got monitor. If you want to monitor any of the issues and everything, you have monitor tool. If you want to write some test cases and test your Power App, you have some testing tool. So these are all out of the box tools that our platform is offering. So we can also use these to identify any bugs and defects and monitor the performance. We can use this. Okay. And Power Automate, I'll give you a quick glimpse of Power Automate. So make.powerautomate.com is the portal that we will be using. I will show how it looks. My flows, click on new flow. You have so many flows, automated flow and everything. I'll pick the automated flow. So first you need to pick a trigger. Okay. Let's say your OneDrive. In your OneDrive, or let's say I'll give you the simplest example. Okay. Email I'll just use. Okay. When a new email arrives, click on create. So you'll get this type of studio where you can design your workflows. So I'm just logging into my Outlook here. Oh, no, it is asking my this thing, right? But I cannot enter that now. It's my, okay. Yeah. Let's say you have Outlook. Okay. So in the Outlook, you need a connection. I'll say I'll pick a different one. Let's say it's asking for my credentials and I don't have credentials now. Yeah. Office 365 Outlook. Yep. This is the one. So when a new email arrives in your shared mailbox, let's say you get an email. So this is your trigger. So trigger is the one which starts the workflow. Okay. So whenever a new email arrives, okay, then what you want to do? You want to create a file in OneDrive. So you have OneDrive action. You see, give the folder path, give the folder name, and give the content. Then what happens whenever a file arrives? So it will automatically create a file in the OneDrive, your OneDrive. So this is your Outlook, this is your OneDrive. You seamlessly integrated both of these. So in the same way, let's say you want to integrate your SharePoint. Let's say SharePoint is a different application altogether, right? So you'll get something from SharePoint. Let's say, you know, you have SharePoint actions. Click on SharePoint. You see, create a file in SharePoint. Instead of OneDrive, you want to create a file in the SharePoint. So then you can integrate Outlook with SharePoint and OneDrive. In the same way, you have hundreds of connectors. So you can seamlessly integrate your Excel. Let's say your data is in Excel. Okay. So you can read something from Excel, put it in SharePoint, compare it with OneDrive. So you can do any sorts of operations. All your data from across the apps is coming into Power Automate and you are involving or interacting with it. Okay. So you have Excel, you have let's say Jira, I'll write. So you have Jira connectors. See, create a new issue in your Jira. Let's say whenever you get a error email, like somebody mailed you, hey, I got an error. So instantly, as soon as you get that email, you want to create a new issue in Jira. Then what will you do? You'll integrate Outlook with Jira and you design a workflow. Then what happens? Whenever a client send you, hey, I got this error, instantly it will create a new ticket in Jira and it will assign to you, right? So these sort of automations you can build quickly, right? So you have some templates. I'll show you some templates. So they have predefined templates. You see, save Outlook email attachments to your OneDrive. So whenever you get some attachments in your Outlook, save it to OneDrive is one sort of requirement, right? Save Gmail attachments to a Dropbox folder. You know, notify about rows in SQL DB. Let's say a row is changed, you want to get notified. Okay. So in this manner, let's say you get some task in Outlook and you want to create in your planner. You see, in this manner, you're seamlessly integrating these many applications. See, you can send approvals, you can post a message in Teams chat. Okay, topics, we'll see, right? So you have all these templates you have. You can connect even your LinkedIn. Let's say some hashtag is trending in Twitter and you want to collect all the tweets of that hashtag and store it in your DB because you are a social media or PR person. You want to understand public pulse or trends. So let's say as a hashtag is trending viral, going viral. So you want to analyze that hashtag. So you want to scrape the data. So you use, hey, whenever this hashtag is posted in Twitter, get the tweet and store it in my database. So you can do that sort of integration. So you can do any sort of automations by connecting all these applications, Twitter, LinkedIn, Gmail, Outlook. Not only Microsoft, you can connect all these tools. There are like 1,000 to 1,000 plus applications that are supported. So connect all those, integrate, store your data, and then manipulate it. Use in whatever way you want. So yeah, that sort of functionalities or capabilities Power Automate have. So it's a simple designer, right? And then easy to understand. Like it's a kind of step. So first this step, second, third, fourth, fifth. So just connect all those. It'll execute in the sequential order, right? Whenever the trigger triggers, then it'll automatically execute. So that's the simplicity of Power Automate. So sorry for being little fast, okay, because I just wanted to cover all these concepts within this time. So within 1 hour, right? So that's why I'm little, fast. I was speaking a little fast, but I'll be, really slow in our general sessions. But today, yeah, I just wanted to show you everything in limited amount of time. That's why I'm little in hurry. But yeah, now again, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can wind up the session. And before we wind up, I want to show you something. So please try to get this trial license. You know, if you want to try out, if you want to try out this development thing and everything, right? So you want E3 trial license, Microsoft E3 trial license. So just use this link. I'll put it in the chat and create a dummy account. Okay. And it is valid for 30 days. It'll ask you your credit card details, but just give it. But before 30 days, I mean, after trial expires, it will not ask you. It'll ask you to extend or not. So only if you extend, it'll take your details. Otherwise, it'll not charge you. So try to complete this thing by tomorrow session, and then we'll take it from there. If not, I'll help you tomorrow. Okay. So try to set up an account. Okay. Just give your email, Gmail, or anything, and then set up this account.
Hemendra, how many days will it take?
It takes like close to 40 to 45 days, Chandra.
Okay, daily 1 hour or 2 hours class?
1 hour class, 40 session.
1 hour in the
40.
same 40 sessions, and it's all over like in the early morning, 8 only.
Yeah. I want to ask you, like, if you are comfortable with 8, we'll go with 8. Otherwise, if all of you are comfortable with 7, so we can, move this to 7 a.m. So based on your comfort, yeah.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Hemandra, what about the weekends? Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday is the holiday?
Saturday, Sunday is holiday, Shahir. Yeah.
Okay. And recording videos also provided after every
Yes,
class?
yes, yes. We have a portal, visualpath.teachable.com. So every
Okay.
class, after every class, they will upload it to that. And
And also
I will.
with this E3 trial license, can we connect to our company any external data source?
What do you mean by external data source? I mean, you want. I mean,
Like
what external?
connectors, we can connect to any, for example, I'm working for in Microsoft Dynamics and our company has separate credentials for it. Can we connect with this E3 license to that?
Yeah, I mean, if you are, I mean, you can generally connect, but since your company data is restricted, I'm not sure like it's secured or not. But generally, there is a feasibility of connecting both. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, and while I teach, I'll write this kind of notes, you know, after I explain each and every concept. So I'll write notes along with this, and I'll upload these notes to GitHub, and I'll share that public URL with you. So, you can actually access the notes also. You can access the recordings, you can access the notes, right? I'll create that profile, a GitHub profile, and I'll share the URL. So every day after the session, I'll push this code to that GitHub, so you can directly access it. It's a public URL. So I'll give it to you. Hmm.
Is it only cloud flows or the desktop flows also will be covered in Power Automate?
Uma, right? I'll introduce you to desktop flow, Uma, but desktop flow is completely a different concept, right? So it's a robotic process automation, right? So I will show you how the user interface looks, and we'll develop one simple desktop flow. But our focus is majorly on cloud flows.
Okay, but in real time, like there will be no individual cloud flows, right? It will be purely an integration of Power Apps and um, Power Automate as well as like Power BI, right? It will be a continuous flow, or individually also we'll be having.
Individually we have Power Apps and Power Automate. If you want to link Power Apps and Power Automate, we can also link it, right? I'll show you a simple thing, right? So here you see, so there's a Power Automate button. You can connect your Power Automate with the Power Apps. You can do that integration, and you can embed Power BI reports in your Power App. Let's say you want to show Power BI reports, so you have some control for this Power BI tile. So develop your Power BI report and connect it to Power Apps. So you can do all these integrations. Yeah, we can connect, or either they can exist independently, or you want to connect, you can connect also.
So in your
So that you can
experience, like you are doing integrations or only individual stuff?
no, we I mean, based on the requirement, we have to do integrations also. In
Okay,
in
and
Power
most
BI
of the
also, we develop Power Apps, Power App widgets in Power BI also, and Power Apps, Power Automate flows in Power BI also. Yeah.
will you be showing any continuous flow like that?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? Yeah. So let's say you have some complex logic, or you want to connect to custom data or external API. So then you will connect to Power Automate, and you'll delegate that complex logic to Power Automate here in Power Apps. Yeah. Well, I'll show it to you. Why not? So that is part actually. Yeah.
And most of the connectors are premium connectors, right? So will we
Not every
be able
connector.
to do only like limited numbers are like free, right? Most of them are premium. Whichever you show Jira, it's a premium connector.
Yeah.
So
It's
we'll be able to test how do we move forward in for a practice or anything.
No, practice, we'll go with SharePoint, Dataverse, and all these premium connectors. It's all the same, right? So we don't need all those to be practiced. Like let's say Jira and everything. Let's say if you want to practice Jira, you need to have a proper Jira setup also in your, this thing for practicing. So I would say go with, OneDrive, SharePoint, database, and everything, Dataverse, and everything. So which is equivalent to that. So I mean, both are same, right? So I think it would be easy, but if you want to test some premium thing, you also need that setup in place. So in your, like, you need to again have a valid Jira subscription, and you need to have the dashboards and projects handy. And then let's say you in your organization you have access to Jira and Power Apps, so then you can do that integration. And if you face any issues, I'll help you. But while testing, we only have test tenant, and we don't have Jira setup, we don't have Workday setup, and we don't have SAP setup. So I mean, it's hard for us to show that. Yeah. But ultimately, it's same thing, right? So it's a relational database, and then we are just connecting it.
Any creation of custom creator,
Custom
custom
connectors, yeah, we'll do that.
connectors, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yep. So custom connector is people like so. Let's say Power Platform is providing us connections to all these softwares. Let's say if any software is missed out of this list, let's say Jira is not there, and you want to connect your Jira to Power App. So then we will be using a concept of custom connectors, and we'll create our own connector using our API. Let's say you have your API, own API, and you want to connect that API with Power Apps. then what will you do? You'll create your custom connector. So Power Apps will give you 1,000 connectors. If your connector is not in that list, you can create your custom connector also, no problem. Okay. So that is what Uma is asking about. Okay, custom connector.
And also,
So
can we do the post and get operations with the API?
yes, exactly. Yeah, we can do that, Shahir.
Okay.
Post, put, patch, update, all these. Yeah, delete.
And how
All the
the
HTTP methods are
ALM
supported.
works? Um,
Yeah, I will teach you like starting from development and deployment, design, test, everything, application lifecycle management, right? So I will teach you all these stages of application lifecycle management. Uma. So even I will show you how to do the continuous integration and continuous deployment, the DevOps approach, CI/CD pipelines and everything in Power Apps. Yeah.
okay.
So that covers the ALM part. Yes.
Any project do you give us?
Yes, yes. I will teach you one project, which is kind of a service desk thing, right? I can show you right away. Let me stop sharing for a while and then I'll share. Okay. Let's say, this is the application, this kind of application. Okay. So you'll have a dashboard. So this is a kind of error management application. So we have a requirement where we have four teams. Okay. Four different teams. Service desk team, SDOps team, OpsCo team, something like that. Like let's say four different teams, and one team is responsible for uploading errors. Okay, so they will get an email with an Excel file. So they will upload that Excel file. Okay, so you can click add and upload your Excel file with all the errors in it. Okay, so automatically this Power Apps will read that Excel file and capture all those errors in that Excel file and upload it to some database. Okay, and then you can see how that Excel looks like. Click on it and it will download that Excel also. I have to log into this, but okay. I mean, forget. Yeah, it's okay. I don't have credentials now, so that's why. Okay. Yeah, you'll get like list of errors. Error is something like, hey, this is not working, that is not working, something like that. So they'll get hundreds and thousands of errors every day. So their requirement is, hey, we'll get an Excel sheet. So I'll upload here. So let's say I want to upload here, and then as soon as I upload it, based on the prefix ops or SDOps or opsgov, I want to track the progress, how the errors are creating into the database. So I will show this progress bar, and all the errors will be created to some database. Okay. So as soon as those errors are created, some other team will go and they will verify that error. Okay. So they'll see that error. So these are the errors that got uploaded. So these are the errors that got uploaded. Okay. So these are the errors. And the red color means they have to take action on this. Gray color means they have taken the action. Okay. So let's say red color. So they'll go ahead and they'll see or they'll fill all these information. So they have these collapsible sections and everything, right? So they'll fix something. So description is this thing, error action required. What is the assignment? So if they want to assign it to some person, so they'll assign to service center, contact center, middle office. So whom they want to assign, so they'll assign location and everything, and then they'll click on save, or they can share this, they can delete this, right? And then it will be assigned to some service center person. Okay. So when they log in, so they will be able to see all the assigned things. Okay, all action items. So they have to take action on all these items. So all completed items, all approved items. So they have different categories. So they can filter the data, they can sort data, they can search for data and everything. Okay, and then they can go ahead, click on this, and then they can, they have a different, when they log in, they have a different user interface, and then they can click on save. So they can give the resolution reason, status, it is completed, and then outcome, issue is resolved, and then they can click on save. So then it will be notified to the whoever created the error. So they will get notification, hey, your issue is resolved. And you see, since I'm an admin, I'm receiving all these, I'm able to see all these options. If I am a service center person, I only see one option. Based on my role, I will be shown only certain options. So role based authentication. Okay. So it's the concept that we use here. And we have, you can configure the permissions here. Okay. Currently, the data is not there. Right. And we also have some Power BI reports in this. If you have any reports, you can connect here. Okay. And some sort of these application, it's a service desk application, so where they upload errors, and you have features like follow up. Let's say you want to follow up, like I can follow up 3 times this error. I created this error, nobody is responding on this. Let's say I want to follow up, I clicked one time. You see, there is one follow up on this error. So I can click on two, so two follow ups. I can click on three follow ups. So far 3 follow ups, and maximum follow ups are reached. You see, maximum follow up reached. So 3 times you followed up, and it 3 times the other person should have notified. And also, let's say you want to chat. So let's say this issue, you want to chat with the service center guy on this issue, click on this chat. So you see this kind of chat. So you can click on chat, so real time chat. So when somebody on the other side also can reply you if they are available, so you can send the notification to them while chatting, hey, notify that other person receives the notification. And then you can attach your attachments and everything. So you have real-time chatting option. You can share this option item with anyone. You'll get this URL. You can share it with people. So you have to link it, right? So all these options, you can edit it, you can
Hello?
delete it, and all these you see, right? So this edit option is available to
Hello?
you. But if some service center person logs in, so he will not be able to see this edit button, because you are the creator, you can see the edit. So they will only see the action button. So these sort of role restrictions are also there in this permissions, role restrictions, and different options. Yeah, Srikanth, yeah, go on, please.
Yeah, Power Apps are using only form design or any other.
What do you mean by that? Like you can build these sort of applications, right? So now here I uploaded Excel file, I extracted the data out of it. I'm showing the continuous progress here. Whether it is failed or something, I'm showing it, right? So you, yeah, typically like you have form design, you have dashboard designs and everything. Yeah, like how the business application looks. Yeah, you can develop all of those, Srikanth.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
What
sure.
version of Power Apps? What is the version of Power Apps?
No, no, we don't have any version as such.
Okay.
It's a cloud thing, right? So it'll automatically get all the updates. But if you want to see any version, you see, right, support, you see authoring version is this, and you have 3 4 versions here. Let's say if they want to, they will introduce any experimental features, right? So if you want to try those experimental features and everything, you can upgrade your version. Otherwise, just keep it recommended version only. Don't change it. Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have any version since it's a SaaS cloud platform, so you don't need to worry about versions. Okay. Automatically updates will be, deployed. Okay. So yeah, if you have any more questions, I can answer you. Otherwise, we
Hemendra,
can wind up the session. Yeah. Yes.
I'm audible,
Yes.
Hemendra.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Uh,
I can hear you, but I can't see your name.
Yeah, Girish.
Oh, hello, Girish. Yeah.
Yeah. So the project what you showed, right? Is it in
Hmm.
model driven app or is it in farm?
It's an
Canva.
Canvas app. Yeah.
Canvas. So apart from the beautification of the app, what is the basic difference between a model driven as well as this Canvas app? I mean, is there any ABC model it will follow or something other models to follow? But only
No,
for
no, no, no.
beautification they're given 2 options.
Yeah. Beautification in the sense, in the model driven apps, you won't have options to customize your user interface. Let's say you are building apps for business, so you need to have a good user interface, right? In model driven app, so you'll get some custom components, navigation navigator, like let's say navigation header, footer, app launcher, app switcher. So you will get some predefined components. You just build those and just build an application. And all your logics will be imposed on the data. You'll create some business rules and everything. Okay. So it is a data centric application. So it doesn't care about UI. So it will not look for your UI. Right here, you'll focus on both. You'll have strict data rules as well as you build, design and everything. So that's a primary difference. But going forward, you'll get more understanding of it as we go further in the
So
sessions.
accessing the data wise, both are same, right?
Yes, yes, yes. But the only difference is Power Apps, Canvas apps can be connected to multiple data sources. You get to connect it with 1,000+ connectors. But model driven apps, you don't have any other option except from Dataverse. So you can only connect to
Oh,
Dataverse, no other data source you can connect to.
got
So your data should be in Dataverse, and you have to write business rules on the data. That's it. And you will get uh,
But
like some custom components, you just use those to design.
Dataverse will connect to multiple sources, right?
No, that you have to create data flows and sync your data from other sources.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you have to create the data flow, connect your one end to your source, one end to destination, that will be Dataverse, and sync the data. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But license wise, Dataverse is like costly, right? So that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Heminder, just
Yes. Yeah, sure, sure. No problem. Yeah.
yeah.
Feel free to ask.
So
Don't hesitate. Yeah.
okay. This one. This particular what we call learning, which is there, it is both into development and support roles also will be there, or like hello.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Chandra, like if
Mm-hmm.
you are a developer, support is nothing but
Mm-hmm.
like they'll get an error or they'll get any, they want any quick fixes, you can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're good with, logic and this, so you can also support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Support is
Okay. So.
ultimately nothing but solving their issues in the,
Mhm. Okay.
so
I'm not into that much tech. So just have another question. Initially, when you were starting building up, okay, in Canvas, I only I can only see for tablet or phone. So is it only for these two, or we can create websites as well with this?
uh, in the terminology of Power Apps, what do they mean by tablet is, so
Mm.
tablet is also for web application. Okay. So if you build for
Okay.
tablet, so that means
Mm.
web application, but the canvas size, right? So this canvas size you can
Mm-hmm.
customize. So in the
Okay.
settings display, you see, right? So whether you want it in landscape or portrait, you can
Mm-hmm.
adjust, and also you can adjust the size. So whether you want, default is 16 by 19 aspect ratio. You want
Mm-hmm.
anything, you can adjust, or if you want to have custom, you can give that in this width. So you can give width which is equivalent to website, then it should be okay.
Okay. So is it like we can build websites like banking domain websites like the one login, a particular XYZ bank is there, okay? So
Yeah.
can we create a fresh website for that, for login, for their accounts and all? Can it be
Yes, yes,
done with this source, or it's just
yes, yes.
smaller websites we can create?
No, we can create, but functionalities will
Mm-hmm.
be limited, right? I mean, in the sense you can build, but security-wise and everything, like people will not go for Power Apps for banking applications or that sort of applications.
Mm-hmm.
So these are like banking application is a customer-focused application, right? So end user, but Power Apps
Mm-hmm.
is business to business. Like within your organization, only your employees can access these applications. It's not like end user focused applications. Let's say you have a people with 1 lakh people in your organization and you want to build
Mm-hmm.
internal applications for them. So then only you'll go with Power Apps, not for the consumer end Power Apps. So like consumer end applications.
Okay. Business apps can be beneficial
Yeah,
for this. Okay,
yeah,
understood.
yeah. Only business apps. So even external users are not allowed here. Let's say you are outside of your tenant. So I have some tenant, right? At the rate
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft.com, at the rate Cognizant.com, at the rate XYZ.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So people outside of that domain will not be able to access these Power Apps. Only people in my
Okay.
organization can see these apps. Yeah, internal applications. These
Mm-hmm.
are all.
Okay. Like how Blue Prism, UiPath, these things work. Okay, just for user thing. So the same thing, like outsiders can't use, and it's only for the internal banking purpose. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. Yes.
Oh, understood. Thank you.
Because our data is the organization data and it shouldn't go out,
Mhm.
right? So that's, yeah. So
So
strict
is it now
policies.
competitive? a platform, or is it going to be competitive in few years so that, or it's already a competitive field,
No, it's already
Power Apps?
competitive. Yeah, you can see, I mean, you just like go to LinkedIn or Naukri and search for Power Apps.
Mm-hmm.
So there are like a lot of openings, yeah. And and people who are taking certifications, and I have been observing LinkedIn activity, right? Like so many people are taking these certifications these days, so many new
Mm-hmm.
jobs being posted every day, and then all the top companies, like let's say whatever company, like I mean, typical companies, LTI, Cognizant, TCS, TechM, Wipro, IBM. So all these companies have these developers, and all of these companies have my friends also placed, right? And then Goldman
Mm-hmm.
Sachs, PayPal, all these companies, like wherever you have, ABB and Shell,
Mm-hmm.
PepsiCo. We have customers from all the verticals, like retail consumer
Okay.
goods, like Takeda, Novartis, you know, Arcadis. Like we have so many clients in, what to say, medical field, retail consumer goods,
Mm-hmm.
aviation, Delta Airlines,
Okay.
all these airline companies. Like so many people are using it. Yeah, I mean, I myself work with like so many clients in different verticals, insurance,
Mm-hmm.
banking. Wells Fargo also have
Okay.
Power App openings. You can see, right?
Mm-hmm. So in nowadays, we have different kinds of working profiles like remote or on premises, and one is called freelancing. So is it beneficial for three platforms, or like only for on premises work it is?
No, no, since it's a cloud, you see, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
don't need any restrictions. So make.powerapps.com, you can access it from any laptop. So even if you are
Mm-hmm.
okay for, I mean, if your company allows remote work, yeah, you can do it, no problem with that. And you find a number of, freelancing works on remote works in Power Apps.
Okay, okay. Okay.
I myself do some freelancing works. So yeah.
Okay. So after we join your course, is it like whenever we have any doubts, we can connect you, or you will be specifiedly like if you're working, we can't connect you?
No, actually,
Like you understand my question?
they will, yes, yes, I understood. Yeah. So in
Mm-hmm.
the session, we'll meet and they'll create a WhatsApp group,
Mm.
I guess. So
Okay. Mm-hmm.
we can stay connected in that. If that get delayed, right, the creation of WhatsApp group
Mm-hmm.
and everything, so I'll share my email address. You can write your queries to my email and I'll help you resolving those. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So as of now, you're working somewhere into IT or
Yes,
something like that?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay, sure. Oh, thank you.
Yep. Sure, no problem. So anybody else, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, yeah, it's already 2 hours, close to 2 hours, so we can wind up the session. If not, if you don't have
Great.
any questions.
Thank you, Aminder,
Okay.
for answering questions.
Oh, no problem, Chandra. That's okay. It's my,
Thank you.
yep, sure. So have a nice day, everyone, and see you in the next session. Thank you for joining. Have a good day. Shahir,
Thank you,
you
dear.
want to ask something? Okay.
No, no, no. I'm just about to close the call.
Okay, perfect. Sure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.